A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this afternoon session of GETI Talks. My name is Shilpi. I'm the Relationship Manager with the Global Education and Training Institute. Today, I am with Dr. Nurul Fadillah to celebrate the International Day of Mother Language. And whoso else would be better to celebrate with rather than her, because she is the lecturer at Faculty of Teacher Training and Education of IAIN Lukesemawe, and that is in Indonesia. She has many degrees with her. She is also the Master on English Applied Linguistics from the University of Negeri in Medan, which she did in 2013. She has also completed her PhD on Translation, Study of Linguistics doctoral program, and now she is going to present her views on the topic, the importance of a mother tongue in education. So thank you, Dr. Fadila, for being here, and thank you for joining in the disruptive education movement started by Dr. Gandhi. So here we are, and here is your platform.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Selfie from GETI. I am very honored that I can have opportunity to be one of the speaker here to present my views, my experience about mother tongue in education. The importance, I shape it in the title of in the importance of mother tongue in education. Okay, I will start my presentation. This is the importance of mother tongue in education. Firstly, I want to introduce myself, that I am Dr. Nurul Fadillah, that I have already introduced by Ms. Silpi. Thank you very much. That is very nice. I am researcher and English lecturer at Faculty of Teacher Training and Education in Lukesemawe. I am also a translator of English in Indonesian and Achenese manuscript. Achenese is my tribes. It is my vernacular language. I am also part of Share and to Care Indonesian education volunteer who actively give presentation in local, national, and international seminar. I am very happy to announce that I am part of GETI Global Disruptive Education Movement as an esteemed live. I will be speaking on the importance of mother tongue education and how to shape the minds of next generation of students, inspire leaders of today for the disruptive change in education. Okay, here we are. When we are talking about mother tongue education, we understood that this is normally the language that child speaks at home with their family. As in my experience, in my tribes, my mother tongue actually Achenese language. But I also speak Indonesian. Indonesian language is the national language in my country. So my mother tongue is Achenese and also Indonesian language. Usually, mother tongue education refers to school or educational institution integrates the language a child is more familiar with. So when a child going to school, for example, going to primary school, the teacher will teach them or will interact with them in their mother tongue. Here in our place, for example, in primary school, teacher also speak Achenese language to their student. The language is used to the classroom lesson along with the school's lesson, such as English. So whenever they teach another lesson, like English, for example, also Indonesian, maybe math or biology, like that, but they will engage with the mother tongue itself. And then here, the teacher is the main character who apply this educational way. I mean that mother tongue used by the teacher to make their students more understand about the study or about the lesson they give in the class. There is some quote here I found. that mother tongue develops children's personal, social, and cultural identity. So this is the importance of mother tongue. Whenever people or whenever children, students use mother tongue, they will have development in their personal, social, and cultural identity. Whenever they talking or they interact with their friends, with the social environment, they will have the identity, and it will also will show their cultural identity as for example, in my places as Acehnese, when they engage with different culture, because they have the mother tongue with them, so they will have it strength. Okay. And then I found this, from my experience, I elaborate this with the reference that I have read. 5 important reasons to know mother tongue well. It is from Referee University, Bengaluru, India. It is very nice to share you that there are 5 important reasons that it is very, very important. This is very, very crucial things that mother tongue, that children needs to have to know their mother tongue. For the first one is intellectual development, and then connection with culture, second language learning, commercial benefits, and the pride. So these 5 things is reason that children have to know importantly about their mother tongue. Okay, we will try to define, or we will describe and engage with for especially for my tribes, for my vernacular language, actually Acehnese. Intellectual development. Those who are fluent in their mother tongue are faster in cognitive as well as intellectual development. A student is educated in his or her mother tongue achieves success higher than those in a different medium other than their mother tongue. Well, to be honest, I have to tell you that I want to share. I am originally Acehnese. My mom and my father is Acehnese. I born in Acehnese family. My grandmother, my grandfather, also Acehnese, originally Acehnese. But unfortunately, since I was child, my parents didn't talk Acehnese with me. Yes, I know Acehnese, but it is not really. I didn't really engage with that language. So whenever they talk to me, they will use Indonesian, but they will talk to. My father and my mother will talk Acehnese, and I will listen them. But they talk to me in different language, in Indonesian language. So I know Acehnese, but I actually not really fluent in Acehnese language since I was when I was a children. So based on this fact, this is from the study shown that those who are fluent in their mother tongue are faster in cognitive as well as intellectual development. Based on my experience, this is very true that actually I have a different experience with my friends, different experience with my other relatives, that when I couldn't speak fluent in Acehnese, it is influence to my the way how I learn language, the way how I learn different language, like English, for example. But when it was when I was children, but in the middle of senior high school, I engaged with more friends in my school that use Acehnese, because I know Acehnese first and I understand Acehnese. It is quite easy for me to learn. To practice Acehnese little by little, and until I get Acehnese fluent right now. Okay, the second one is better connection with culture. The best way to thoroughly know about a culture is to know the language. Languages are the most important way of keeping our culture alive. often the direct translation of one language to another might not carry the same essence as it is in the source language. Mother tongue helps us stay connected to our culture and our roots. This is, I also want to tell you about my experience as I am also learning. I am also studying about the translation, and the last research of my for my dissertation, for my PhD script thesis dissertation, I research, or I analyze the translation from Achinese to Indonesian. So there are I can say many, but I also can say much words that maybe, because this is a thick book. Yeah, there are like more than 2,000 words in Achinese that is translated in Indonesian, but the translator couldn't find more. It's like they couldn't find the translation of the Achinese into Indonesian. So this is also proof. I prove myself from the reference also say that that direct translation of one language to another might not carry the same essence. So they couldn't find the equivalence word, which means the same thing like in the source text. This way, people or children or the learner who study about languages needs really know about the mother tongue. As I am Achinese, when I try to analyze the translation from Achinese to Indonesian, so I can understand that this is different word from Indonesian. This is from I cannot find it in English, so I need to make like a description of this word, like that. That's why mother tongue help us to connect it to our culture and root, because everything, every culture is different from another culture. And I can say about the culture here also. There are some. It's like in Achinese we have hadith maja and also hikayat, but for the advice. There are some advice in Achinese language. We call it hadith maja. So this is different. There is no other language use this kind of hadith maja in Aceh. So the advice use the old word in Achinese. It will be my next presentation for another seminar. Maybe you can join me to listen about this hadith maja. Okay, and then the third one is cultural identity. When a child reads out in their mother tongue since childhood, he or she would have stronger literacy skills in other languages, because the people or the students, because the student, when they read different languages, the cognitive capability from his mind, from his brain works works better. So when they get used to read for example, again in my experience, there is Achinese. As I read some literature in Achinese, also I read some literature in Indonesian, and now mostly I read literature in English. So there are some similarities in the literature. Whenever we read one language, so it will be easier for us to understand another language and also another language. For my example, it is Chinese, Indonesian, and English. Talking about identity, there are some characteristic. There are some characteristic of Achinese. When people in Aceh, Achinese people has some Achinese people has some things that they engage. have some things that they tell to their children. For example, there are some advice. There are some advice they want to tell to their children, but in different way, in different language, in different way of talking. This is actually we cannot understand it easily as children, but there are some philosophy things that is included in that words, in that advice. That is become the identity of Acehnese people. And then the fourth one is commercial benefits. Commercial benefits here. The opportunities related to monetizing with the help of one's mother tongues are fast in today's market scenario. When talking about commercial benefits, mother tongue. I am living in Aceh. I am living in Aceh now, and people outside. I have some other friends from Java, from other district, from other province, from other tribes. So whenever I talk in my language, in Acehnese language, there are some things, there are some characteristic of my language that can be commercial. When I, for example, of this point, commercial benefits, when I want to advertise them with some things, I want to tell them about some things that is special in my place. So I can tell this with my language, with Acehnese language. Well, for example, Jaklom. Jaklom is in Acehnese. It means that come again. When I say it in my language, they will feel curious. What is Jaklom? So it will be very commercial for people to want to know. When we say something in our mother tongue, people will curious. So they will ask, they will want to know it more and more, like that. So it is very, very nice, or very, very important. It is very nice way to make our mother tongue as commercial benefits. And then the last one is the pride. Knowing your mother tongue well is a matter of pride. It boosts one's confidence and creates awareness in the individual's mind, while also helping them connect with their cultural identity in a better manner. Well, I can tell you about this pride. As before this presentation begin, I talked to Miss Shilpi, and I told her that I am Acehnese, originally Acehnese. And also the same way I will tell to other people that I am Acehnese. This is the pride of me. If Mrs. Shilpi, Miss Shilpi already told you that I graduated my master degree in Medan. Medan is a different tribe. They usually talk in Bataknese, different accent, different languages, different vernacular language. So we have different accent with the Batak. When I talk in Indonesian, I didn't talk in my vernacular language, but I talk in Indonesian language as the national language. That I and my friend understood each other, because we are different type. When I talk in Indonesian, I have different accent. It is Acehnese, and I am proud to be Acehnese. For example, they will notice that I am Acehnese when I am talking something in Indonesian, because this is a different accent. Just like mau kemana? It's different accent, different intonation, just like that. And I found this in Indian people too, because Indian people speak English in their accent. So this is, for me, this is very nice, because whenever I couldn't see them, but when I hear they're talking, for example, from the movie, oh, this is Indian. Maybe, but there are some different movie that they talk in English. But even though I didn't see the movie visually, but I can understand, but I can notice that it is Indian because they have different accent. And for me, this is the identity, and they pride about that. And I really appreciate about the accent of Indian English. And also the Acehnese. Acehnese, when we are talking Indonesian, we have different accent that we use Acehnese accent, but we pride to be Acehnese that we have different Indonesian language with Acehnese accent. Okay, this is the closure of my presentation. Proud to be Acehnese, speak and introduce Acehnese culture to the world. I love Aceh. Thank you very much, Miss Sylvie. This is the end of my presentation.
Okay. So thank you so much, Dr. Fadillah, for that interesting presentation. Now, the question that comes to my mind is, children, when they are growing up, especially, you have been a lecturer, you are a lecturer rather right now. And so importance of mother tongue, how is it, how does it facilitate in learning a second language? I'm not just talking about English, but any other second language that a person wants to learn. How important it is that he should have an expertise over his own mother language, then learn the second language.
I can tell you that from the experience, my mom is a primary teacher, and she taught in the remote area of our place. This is in the remote area, so the people there couldn't speak. They can understand Indonesian, but they couldn't speak Indonesian. That way, my mom taught the primary teacher, the primary student using mixing between Acehnese and Indonesian, because they understand Acehnese, but sometimes they don't want to listen, because this is the way of psychology of the student, of the children, how they learn. They don't want to listen carefully if something they don't usually hear. They don't usually listen. So my mom use Acehnese language to teach them, but it is mixing, because they need to learn Indonesian too, but they have to learn about the object of the lessons. So my mom will use Acehnese and Indonesian. Yeah, that
Right.
way.
So there is, just connecting what you said right now. It is also believed that if you know your mother language, when learning a second language, you should keep it in the background, because that might hamper your learning of the new vocabulary. Does it happen, or is it? I mean, you're a linguistic teacher also, so mother language. How can it help in understanding a text in a foreign language, or how can it rather, if you put it in a more clearer way, knowing your mother language well, right? Not just the pronunciation and the vocabulary, but the grammar and everything itself. How does it facilitate, when it comes to understanding, comprehending a foreign language?
Based on my experience, when I try to translate Acehnese manuscript into Indonesian, that way I need to think, or I need to understand or analyze first who is the reader of the translation. Just the same like the way when student try to understand a script or a text, when we teach them to understand about one text in different language, I will I will translate them first in the language that they understand. So it is not it is not about if it is a translation, formal translation, I will do it as such as we'll use the grammar and everything, and every rule in the language itself. But to make them understand, this is the important thing, that to make them understand first. So this is I will ignore the grammar first, but the way I will find the words that they to define the translation, to define the text in different language. But the important thing that I need to make them understand first, like that. But I will ignore the grammar first if I want to make them understand one text in another language, like that. It's also depend to the level of the students that I teach. I also teach primary. I will teach the primary students, the senior high school, and also the junior high school. If they need to understand the context, then I will give them free translation. But if it is need for them to know the grammar or the way how it is translated well, so I will teach them the grammar, also the grammar itself. Yeah.
So what I have understood is that knowing your mother language is very important when you have to learn another foreign language. And at every stage of learning, it's a little different. At a
At the
primary
stage.
stage, it is more often used to
Yeah.
teach a foreign language, but as you start growing and getting into higher classes, less and less of it is evident. So thank you so much, Dr. Fadila, for being here and taking out time to celebrate this day with us. Uh,
Yeah, thank you very
yeah,
much, Miss Silpi. It is very nice to see you.
and have a great day, and looking forward to having another session from you in near future. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you so much. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. See you.
And for my viewers, I would ask you to stay on and stay tuned in, because late in the evening we have another session with Miss Georgia coming from Greece. She will also be celebrating the World Day of Mother Language with me on this very platform. Thank you so much and good evening.
Thank you. Good evening.